So for this video I'm going to show how I made this bracelet. It's sort of candy cane Christmas themed, which I know is a bit weird considering it's summer at the moment, but you never know, it could come in useful at some point, and it's never too early to start really, is it? But I kind of liked this one, and this one is quite quick and easy to make, and I fastened it off with a clasp. So I'm going to get on and show you how I made this. So to get started with this, you're going to need your board for knotting over, your flat cord, your coloured embroidery thread, a couple of crimp ends with the jump rings and one with a clasp on the end, pliers, scissors, your clips for holding your cord at either end of the board, and a ruler for measuring with. So first you want to measure out your embroidery thread. Now for this bracelet I'm going to make it around 6 inches for a 6-inch wrist. So what you want is 1 foot for every inch of whatever it is that you're actually making. It could be an anklet, necklace, whatever. So for this one, as I say, I'm doing it for a 6-inch, which means I need 6 feet altogether. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So once I've measured that out, because I'm going to be doing the knotting separately, I'm going to cut these in half. So it's going to be 3 feet on each side. So if you want to match up your centre, your ends I mean, and then find the centre, and then you can cut those like that. So once you've measured out your embroidery thread, you can take your flat cord and attach the crimp to it. But before you put this one on into there, you want to put your embroidery threads in. So I'm going to take them and just even up the ends. And what I want to do is put one of each colour at either side. So if you slot them in, this is quite fiddly, but you'll get there. And once you've got those in, just try and naturally pull them to either side, and then add your flat cord, and then just pinch that closed, and then take the pliers and try and tighten it all up as carefully as you can. It can be quite fiddly to do. So what you'll end up with is something that looks like that, and then you can just trim your ends off. And I sometimes take a lighter just to get rid of the last ends, because I can't always get quite as close as I want to with the scissors. But you can tidy it up at the end if you want to when you finish making it. So what you'll end up with is something that looks like that. So once you've got everything attached to the clip, what you want to do is attach it to your board. And then I keep this uncut, so I'll cut it at the end, and that way it cuts down on waste, and plus it allows me to be able to attach the other end to the other end of the board like that. So first of all, I want to arrange my cords. So for this one, I'm going to be doing red at the top here, but white at the top there, and white at the bottom, and then red at the bottom here. So to start off with, you're just doing a square knot, and it's basically going to be square knots all the way down with alternating threads. So I'm just trying to get this up here as neatly as possible, trying to cover as much of the flat cord as you can. So you can spend a little bit of time on it just to make sure it looks as neat as possible. And then just proceed to do your square knots. And you don't want to pull this too tight here because you might warp the flat cord. You want to obviously give it a little bit of pressure but not too much. So once you've done your first square knot, take your other 2 threads and bring them over the top. You can do it over the top or under the bottom, whichever you prefer, but just try and be consistent because that creates the look. So once you've got the bracelet to the length you want it, you can remove it from the board. And then you just want to fasten off the last ends. So if you match up whatever you did at the top and make your crimp face the same way, and try and get it as close to the edge where you finished your bracelet as possible, and then pinch your crimp ends in a bit, and then take your pliers and just do what you did at the beginning and fasten the ends in. And then you can trim the excess. And once again, if you want, you can just use your lighter to get the last few ends that you can't get with the scissors. And there you have your completed bracelet. So now all you want to do is try it on. And as I always say, this can be tricky if you're putting it on your own wrist. But once you've done, you'll end up with something that looks like that. So I hope this video was helpful for somebody, and thank you for watching.